The throne room of the Valari Empire was the most beautiful place Yuna had ever seen. Giant crystals hung from the ceiling like frozen waterfalls. Strange lights danced across the walls in colors that had no names in any human language. The floor was made of something that looked like liquid gold, but felt solid under her boots. Yuna stood in the middle of this impossible room, wearing her simple Terran diplomatic corps uniform. She felt small. She felt out of place. Around her, hundreds of alien nobles watched with their strange four eyes. Their skin glowed in shades of purple and violet. They whispered to each other in a language that sounded like singing. She was here to deliver a simple message from Earth. A trade agreement. Nothing special. She had done this 100 times before on 100 different worlds. But today was different. Princess Yunbi, heir to the Valari throne, had requested a private audience. When Yuna arrived, she found the entire royal court waiting instead. Something was wrong. She could feel it in the air. The princess sat on a throne made of living crystal. She was tall and beautiful in a way that hurt to look at. Her skin was the color of a summer sunset. Her four eyes shone like stars. Long silver hair floated around her head, as if gravity had forgotten about her. For a long moment, the princess simply stared at Yuna. Then she did something that made everyone in the room gasp. She stood up. She walked down the steps of her throne. And she knelt. A Valari royal had not knelt before anyone in 10,000 years. Yuna knew this because she had studied their culture. She knew that this was impossible. And yet it was happening right in front of her eyes. The princess held up a small box. Inside was a ring made of crystal and starlight. It was the most beautiful thing Yuna had ever seen. "Lieutenant Yuna of Earth," the princess said. Her voice was soft, but it filled the entire room. "I have watched your species for many years. I have seen how you fight, how you love, how you dream. Humans burn with a fire that puts the rest of the galaxy to shame." Yuna could not speak. She could not move. She could only listen. "I have watched you specifically," Yunbi continued. "I saw how you brought peace to the three warring systems of Kepler. You had no weapons, no army. You had only your words and your heart. You made them believe in something better." The princess looked up at Yuna with those four shining eyes. "I want that fire beside me," she said. "I want you as my consort, my partner, my equal. Will you accept this ring and stand with me forever?" The silence in the throne room was complete. Every alien in the room held their breath. Yuna could hear her own heart beating like a drum. She thought about her life. She thought about Earth, so far away. She thought about her mother and Bizin, growing old and waiting for her daughter to come home. She thought about the little apartment she had dreamed of buying someday, the simple life she had imagined. And she thought about Do-hyun, her childhood friend. Do-hyun, who had grown up with her in the same neighborhood. Do-hyun, who had always made her laugh when she was sad. Do-hyun, who had given her his last piece of bread during the food shortage when they were teenagers, then pretended he was not hungry. Do-hyun, who had kissed her the night before she left for the academy. One kiss, 7 years ago. They had made no promises. They had said no special words. But she had never stopped thinking about him. She thought about all of this in the space of a single heartbeat. Then she bowed her head respectfully and spoke. "Your Highness," Yuna said, keeping her voice steady. "I am honored. I am honored beyond any words I know. But I cannot accept." The gasps from the crowd were like a wave crashing on a beach. "My heart," Yuna continued, "belongs to someone else." The princess did not move for a long moment. Then she slowly rose to her feet. Her four eyes blinked one at a time, which Yuna knew was a sign of deep confusion among the Valari. "Who?" Yunbi asked. Her voice was quiet now. Dangerous. Yuna swallowed hard. Someone back home. On Earth. I am sorry. The princess stared at her. Something changed in those 4 eyes. The softness disappeared. Something harder took its place. Something that made Yuna want to run. But then, slowly, a smile appeared on Yumbi's face. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of someone who had just found a new game to play. Then I will prove myself worthy, the princess said. I will show you that no one in this galaxy deserves you more than I do. She turned to face her court. Her voice rose until it echoed off the crystal ceiling. Send a message to every system in the galaxy, she commanded. The princes of the Valari Empire issues a universal challenge. I will fight any being who believes they are worthy of the human called Yuna. I will defeat them all. Every single one. And when I have proven that no one can stand against me, she will see the truth. Yuna stepped forward. Your Highness, please. This is not necessary. But Yumbi was already walking away. Her royal guards scrambled to follow her. The nobles parted before her like water before a ship. At the door, the princess stopped and looked back one last time. Watch me, Yuna of Earth, she said. Watch me conquer the galaxy for you. And then tell me your heart belongs to another. She disappeared through the door. The noise in the throne room exploded as everyone started talking at once. Yuna stood alone in the middle of the chaos. Her translator implant buzzed with 1,000 voices. She felt dizzy. She felt sick. She had come here to deliver a trade agreement. Now she had started something she could not stop. Far away, on the other side of the galaxy, a small cargo ship called the Stubborn Mule was making its slow way to a mining colony. Inside, a young man named Do-yoon was eating his dinner alone in the cockpit. A news alert appeared on his screen. He almost ignored it. He got hundreds of news alerts every day, and they were usually boring. But something made him look at this one. The headline said, Valari Princess Challenges, Galaxy for Human Woman. Below the headline was a picture of Yuna. Do-hyun dropped his food. His hands started shaking. He read the article 3 times. Then he read it again. Yuna. His Yuna. The girl he had never stopped loving. The girl he had been too afraid to follow when she left for the stars. She was in trouble, and the entire galaxy was about to go crazy because of her. Do-hyun looked at his navigation computer. He was 17 jumps away from Valari space. His ship was old and slow. He was nobody, just a cargo pilot with no money and no power. But none of that mattered. He changed course and pushed his engines to maximum speed. The galaxy was about to burn. And somewhere in the middle of that fire was the only person who had ever made his life feel complete. He was going to find her, no matter what it cost. 3 days passed. In those 3 days, everything changed. Princess Yumbi's challenge spread across the galaxy like fire through dry grass. Every news channel talked about it. Every species discussed it. The story of the alien princess who had fallen in love with a human woman became the most popular topic in known space. Yuna watched it all from her room on the Valari flagship. She was not a prisoner, they told her. She was a guest. But her door was always locked from the outside. Guards stood in the hallway day and night. She could not leave. The room was beautiful. The bed was soft. The food was excellent. But it was still a cage made of crystal and starlight. A young Valari named Hana had been assigned to take care of her. Hana was kind and curious. She asked many questions about humans and Earth. She seemed genuinely interested in the answers. Why do you not want to marry the princess? Hana asked one morning while bringing Yuna her breakfast. She is the most powerful person in our empire. She is beautiful. She is strong. Any Valari would give anything to be in your position. Yuna sighed and pushed her food around her plate. I cannot force my heart to feel something it does not feel. Hannah tilted her head. Among my people, love is not about feelings. Love is about choosing the strongest partner. The one who can protect you. The one who can give you powerful children. Humans are different, Una said. We love with our hearts, not our heads. Sometimes we love people who make no sense. People who are weak. People who cannot protect us. We love them anyway. Hannah thought about this for a long time. That sounds very difficult. It is, Una admitted. It really is. That afternoon, the first challenge began. The Draven hegemony had sent their greatest champion. The Draven were a race of beings made from living crystal. They were huge and nearly impossible to kill. Their champion was called the Mountain That Walks. He was 9 feet tall and as wide as a cargo shuttle. The battle took place in the great arena of Nexus Station, the largest space station in the galaxy. Millions of beings filled the seats. Billions more watched through screens and neural links. Una was brought to the royal viewing box. She had no choice. Yumbi wanted her to watch. The princess entered the arena wearing light armor that seemed to flow like water around her body. She carried a single blade that glowed with pale blue light. Compared to the massive crystal warrior facing her, she looked like a child. The Mountain That Walks laughed. His voice was like rocks grinding together. "You fight for a human?" he said. "They are weak creatures, fragile. They break so easily. What could possibly make one worth all this trouble?" Yumbi did not answer. She simply raised her blade. The mountain charged. What happened next was so fast that Una almost missed it. One moment, Yumbi was standing still. The next moment, she was on the other side of the arena. Between those two moments, her blade had moved in ways that should have been impossible. The Mountain That Walks stopped. He looked confused. Then cracks appeared all over his crystal body. More and more cracks, spraying like spider webs. He tried to speak, but no words came out. He exploded into 1,000 tiny pieces. The arena went completely silent. Then the cheering began, so loud that it shook the walls. Yumbi turned to look up at the viewing box. She found Yuna's eyes and smiled. "One down," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Who was next? Over the following weeks, the challengers came from every corner of the galaxy. The mind weavers of Tau Ceti tried to break Yumbi with their mental powers. They could drive any being insane with a single thought. But the princess simply stared at them with her 4 eyes and pushed back. The mind weavers screamed and fell unconscious. Their minds had shattered like glass against the wall of her will. The poison lords of the Nebula Rim tried to corrupt her body with toxins that could kill a star. But Valari biology was designed to adapt. Within seconds, her body had learned how to break down the poison. The poison lords died from their own weapons when she breathed the toxic air back at them. The Void Dancers came from a dimension beyond normal space. They could attack from directions that did not exist. They could move through walls and weapons like ghosts. But Yumbi had trained for 500 years in the martial arts of her people. She learned to sense attacks before they came. She struck the Void Dancers with blows they could not dodge because she hit where they were going to be, not where they were. 47 challengers fell. Not a single one could stand against her. Una watched it all. With each victory, she saw something change in the princess. The hopeful woman who had knelt before her was disappearing. Something harder was taking her place. Something obsessed. Something that would not stop until it got what it wanted. Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, Do-hyun was running out of time. His old cargo ship was too slow. Every day, he fell further behind the news. By the time he reached one system, the princess had already moved on to another. He was chasing a ghost. His co-pilot, an old woman named Misuk, watched him push himself to exhaustion. "You need to sleep," she told him. "You have not closed your eyes in 3 days." "I cannot," Do-Hyun replied. His eyes were red. His hands shook from too much coffee. "She needs me. Does she know you are coming?" Do-Hyun was silent for a moment. "No, she probably does not even remember me. It has been 7 years." Misuk raised an eyebrow. "Then why are you killing yourself to reach her?" Do-Hyun thought about the question. He thought about the last time he had seen Yuna. She had been standing at the shuttleport, wearing her new academy uniform. She had looked scared and excited and beautiful. He had wanted to tell her not to go. He had wanted to tell her that he loved her. He had wanted to ask her to stay. But he had said nothing. He had been too afraid. He had watched her walk onto the shuttle and fly away into the stars, and he had said nothing. "Because I made a mistake 7 years ago," he finally said. "I let her leave without telling her how I felt. I have regretted it every single day since then. Every single day. And you think showing up now will fix that?" Misuk asked. "No," Do-Hyun admitted. "Maybe she does not love me. Maybe she never did. Maybe I am just a fool chasing a dream. But I have to know. I have to tell her the truth, even if she rejects me. I cannot live the rest of my life wondering what might have happened." Misuk was quiet for a long moment. Then she smiled. "You really are a fool," she said. "But you are a brave fool. The best kind." She walked over to the navigation computer and started pressing buttons. "What are you doing?" Do-Hyun asked. "I know some shortcuts," Misuk replied. "Smuggler routes from my younger days. Very dangerous. Probably illegal. But they will get us to Nexus Station in half the time." Do-Hyun stared at her. "You would do that for me?" "I would do that for love," the old woman said. "It has been a long time since I have seen someone love so stupidly and so completely. It reminds me of being young." She laughed. "Now sit down and strap in. This is going to be a rough ride." The stubborn mule turned onto a new course and disappeared into the dangerous spaces between the stars. Behind them, the galaxy continued to watch the princess fight. Ahead of them, Yuna sat in her crystal cage and wondered if anyone was coming to save her. And somewhere in the middle, Destiny waited to see what would happen next. 6 weeks had passed since the challenge began. Yumbi had defeated 47 warriors from across the galaxy. She had fought monsters and machines and beings made of pure energy. She had been cut, burned, poisoned, and nearly killed more times than anyone could count. But she had never lost. Not once. The galaxy was running out of champions willing to face her. Yuna had watched every single battle. She had no choice. Yumbi made sure of that. After each victory, the princess would look up at the viewing box and search for Yuna's eyes. She wanted to make sure Yuna saw her power. She wanted to make sure Yuna understood. But Yuna did not see strength in those battles. She saw something else. Something that worried her more with each passing day. She saw obsession. The princess had stopped sleeping. She spent every hour training or planning or watching old recordings of her fights. Her servants whispered that she barely ate. The soft glow of her violet skin had become pale and dim. One evening, Yuna convinced the guards to let her visit the princess in her private chambers. She told them she wanted to congratulate Yumbi on her latest victory. The guards seemed happy to hear this. They thought maybe Yuna was finally changing her mind. They were wrong. Yuna found the princess sitting alone in the dark. Medical robots floated around her, treating the wounds from her most recent battle. A deep cut ran across her shoulder. Another crossed her face. She looked exhausted. She looked broken. But when she saw Yuna, she smiled. "You came," Yumbi said. "I knew you would eventually." Are you ready to accept my proposal now? Yuna sat down across from her. She kept her voice gentle. No, I came because I am worried about you. The smile faded from the princess's face. Worried? About me? I am winning. I am proving myself. You are destroying yourself, Yuna said. Look at you. When was the last time you slept? When was the last time you ate a proper meal? Those things do not matter. Only the challenge matters. Why? Why does it matter so much? Yunbi was silent for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. Because you said your heart belongs to another. That means I am not good enough. I have to become good enough. I have to prove that no one in the galaxy is stronger than me. Yuna felt her heart twist with sadness. She had expected anger from the princess. She had expected pride. She had not expected this terrible, painful loneliness. Umbi, she said softly, listen to me. You are the strongest person in the galaxy. You have proven that 100 times over. But that is not how love works. Then how does it work? The question was almost desperate. Tell me. I will do whatever it takes. I will learn. I will change. Yuna thought carefully about her words. Love is not something you can earn through fighting. You cannot force someone to love you by defeating their champions. Love comes from smaller things. What smaller things? Time spent together, conversations, shared experiences. Yuna paused, trying to find the right way to explain. When I think about the person I love, I do not think about his strength or his power. He has no power. He is nobody special. Just a cargo pilot. Yunbi's eyes narrowed. This Doyun. What makes him worthy of you if he has no strength? Yuna smiled, remembering. He made me laugh when I was scared. When I was nervous about joining the academy, he told me jokes until I could not stop smiling. When I failed my first exam, he stayed up all night helping me study for the next one. These are small things, Umbi said, confused. Yes, small things. But they add up. Yuna leaned forward. During the food shortage of 2087, we had almost nothing to eat. One day, Dalhan found a bread roll. It was the only food he had for 2 days. He gave it to me and told me he had already eaten. I found out later that he had not eaten anything. He gave me his only food because he could not stand to see me hungry. The princess was very quiet now. I never forgot that, Yuna continued. A powerful person might conquer worlds for someone they love. But Dohyun gave me his last piece of bread when he was starving. That is not strength. That is love. Real love. The kind that does not ask for anything in return. Yunbi stared at her hands. They were covered in scars from her many battles. Hands that had defeated the greatest warriors in the galaxy. On Valari, she said slowly, we are taught that strength is everything. Our ancestors proved their love through conquest. The stronger you are, the more worthy you are of love. I have followed these teachings my entire life. And how has that worked? Yuna asked gently. The princess was silent. Yunbi, I do not hate you. I do not dislike you. In another life, in another time, maybe things could have been different. But you cannot conquer your way into someone's heart. It does not work like that. Then what should I do? Yuna stood up. Stop fighting. Stop trying to prove yourself. If you truly want to understand love, then learn to give without expecting anything in return. Learn to be kind without wanting reward. Learn to put someone else's happiness before your own. She walked to the door, then stopped and looked back. The strongest warriors in the galaxy could not defeat you. But love will require you to become something much harder. It will require you to become soft. She left the princess alone with her thoughts. Far below, In the maintenance tunnels of the Valari flagship, Do-hyun was lost. He had been lost for about 4 hours now. Getting onto the ship had been surprisingly easy. He had borrowed a maintenance uniform from a worker who owed Misak a favor. He had walked through the main doors carrying a toolbox. No one had stopped him. No one had asked questions. But now he was deep in the belly of the largest ship he had ever seen, and he had no idea where Yuna was. "Turn left at the next junction," Misak's voice said through his earpiece. "You said that 3 junctions ago." "Now I am in some kind of engine room. These ship maps are very outdated. I am doing my best." Do-hyun sighed and kept walking. His legs ached. His eyes burned from lack of sleep. But he was close now. He could feel it. He climbed through an air vent that seemed to lead toward the upper levels. After 20 minutes of crawling, he found a grate that looked down into a fancy hallway. Guards. Lots of guards. That probably meant something important was nearby. He carefully removed the grate and dropped down into the hallway. The guards were facing the other way. He quickly ducked behind a decorative pillar. 2 doors stood before him. One probably led to Yuna. The other probably led to something very bad. He picked the left one. The door slid open silently. He stepped inside and found himself face to face with Princess Yumbi. She was still sitting in the dark, still thinking about what Yuna had said. When she saw the strange human standing in her doorway, her eyes went wide with shock. Then they narrowed with rage. She grabbed her sword. "Assassin!" she shouted. Wait. Do-hyun held up his hands. "I am not here to hurt you." The princess did not listen. She was already moving toward him, blade raised. Then another voice cut through the chaos. "Yumbi, stop!" Yuna appeared at another door. She must have heard the commotion. She ran between Do-hyun and the princess, blocking the blade with her own body. "Do not hurt him," Yuna said. "I know him. He is not dangerous." The princess paused. She looked at Yuna, then at Do-hyun, then back at Yuna. Understanding dawned in her 4 eyes. "This is him," she whispered. "This is the one." The cargo pilot. Do-hyun stared at Yuna. She was thinner than he remembered. Tired, but still beautiful. Still the girl he had never stopped loving. "Hi, Yuna," he said stupidly. "I came to rescue you, but I think I might have gotten a little lost." Yuna laughed. It was a sound between joy and tears. "You idiot," she said. "You absolute idiot." Behind her, Princess Yumbi watched them with eyes that were slowly beginning to understand. The princess's sword hovered in the air between them. Her 4 eyes moved from Yuna to Do-hyun and back again. Her face was impossible to read. "Guards!" she finally shouted. "Arrest this intruder!" "Yumbi, please!" Yuna stepped forward, placing herself firmly between the princess and Do-hyun. "He is not a threat. He's just a cargo pilot. He came here because he was worried about me. He broke into my ship. He entered my private chambers. Those are crimes punishable by death in my empire." Do-hyun swallowed hard. His legs felt weak. He had known this mission was dangerous, but hearing the word death made everything suddenly very real. "I did not mean any disrespect," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "The newsfeed said Yuna was being held prisoner. I just wanted to make sure she was okay. She's not a prisoner. She is under my protection. With all respect, Your Highness, from where I am standing, that looks like the same thing." The princess's eyes flashed with anger. For a moment, Do-hyun was certain she would kill him where he stood. But then something changed in her expression. The anger faded. Something else took its place. Curiosity. "You are the cargo pilot," she said slowly. "The one she loves. The one who gave her his last bread." Do-hyun blinked in surprise. She told you about that? She told me many things. The princess lowered her sword, but did not put it away. She told me that love is made of small things. That strength is not what makes someone worthy. I did not understand. But now, she looked at Do-hyun with those four strange eyes. She studied him like a scientist studying an interesting bug. You are small, she said. You are weak. You have no special powers. You could not survive 10 seconds in a fight against me. And yet, you crossed the entire galaxy, broke into the most secure ship in Valari space, and walked into my chambers without a weapon. For her, Do-hyun nodded. Yes, why? It was the same question everyone had been asking him. Mizik had asked. The guards he had bluffed past had probably wondered. Now the most powerful princess in the galaxy was asking too. Because I love her, he said simply. And when you love someone, you do whatever it takes to reach them. Even if it is stupid. Even if it is impossible. Even if you might die trying. The princess was quiet for a long time. Very well, she finally said. I will give you a chance to prove yourself. Not through words. Through action. Yumbi, no, Yuna said quickly. What are you doing? If this human truly loves you, he must prove it. He must face me in the arena. A formal challenge. If he survives, I will accept that there is something about human love that I do not understand. He cannot fight you. Yuna's voice was desperate now. He is not a warrior. He has no training. You will kill him. Then he should not have come. Do-hyun looked at Yuna, really looked at her. She was scared. Not for herself. For him. Her eyes were begging him to refuse. To find another way. To be sensible for once in his life. But sensible was what had kept them apart for 7 years. Sensible was what had stopped him from confessing his love at the shovelport. Sensible was what had let her fly away without knowing how he truly felt. He was done being sensible. I accept, he said. Do-hyun, no. I accept, he repeated, louder this time. Name the time and place. I will be there. The princess smiled. It was not a cruel smile. It was almost respectful. The arena of Nexus Station. 1 day from now. I will give you time to prepare. She paused, though I doubt it will help. She turned and walked away, her guards falling into step behind her. At the door, she stopped and looked back at Yuna. You asked me to learn about love, she said. About giving without expecting anything in return. Tomorrow, I will give your cargo pilot a chance to show me what that looks like. Whether he survives the demonstration is up to him. The door closed behind her. Yuna turned to Do-hyun. Her eyes were full of tears. You fool, she whispered. You absolute fool. I know. She will kill you. She has defeated the greatest warriors in the galaxy. Monsters, machines, beings made of pure energy. What chance do you have? None, Do-hyun admitted. But that does not matter. Of course it matters. Your life matters. Do-hyun reached out and took her hand. It was the first time he had touched her in 7 years. Her skin was warm. Her fingers trembled slightly. Listen to me, he said softly. 7 years ago, you left for the academy. I stood at the shovelport and watched you walk away. I wanted to tell you something. I wanted to say 3 words. But I was scared. I was a coward. I let you leave without knowing how I felt. Do-hyun, I have regretted that moment every single day since then. Every night, before I sleep, I think about what I should have said. What I was too afraid to say. He squeezed her hand gently. I am not afraid anymore. Whatever happens tomorrow, at least you will know the truth. Tears rolled down Yuna's cheeks. You stupid man, she said. I already knew. I always knew. And why did you leave? Because you never asked me to stay. They stood there in silence, holding hands in the princess's chambers, 7 years of unspoken words hanging in the air between them. I am asking now, Da-hyun whispered. If I survive tomorrow, stay with me. Not here. Not on some alien ship. Come home. Come back to Earth. Build a life with me. Please. Yuna laughed through her tears. You are asking me to marry you the day before you might die? I am asking you to give me a reason to live. She pulled him into an embrace. He held her tight, feeling her heart beat against his chest. For a long moment, the rest of the universe disappeared. There was no princess, no challenge, no galaxy watching. Just two humans who had loved each other since they were children. Survive tomorrow, Yuna whispered into his ear. Find a way, and I will give you your answer. That night, Do-hyun did not sleep. He sat in a small room the guards had given him, staring at the wall. He had no training, no special skills, no plan. In a few hours, he would face the most dangerous warrior in the galaxy, and he had absolutely no idea how he was going to survive. His earpiece crackled. Misuk's voice came through, worried and tired. I heard what happened. Are you insane? Probably. She has killed 47 of the galaxy's greatest fighters. What are you going to do? Throw cargo at her? Do-hyun smiled weakly. I have not figured that part out yet. The whole galaxy is talking about this. Billions of beings are going to watch you die tomorrow. Thanks for the encouragement. Misuk was quiet for a moment. Then she sighed. When I was young, she said, I knew a man who loved me. He was not strong. He was not rich. He was just a simple farmer. But he looked at me like I was the most precious thing in the universe. He would have walked through fire for me. What happened to him? I married someone stronger, someone richer, someone my family approved of. The farmer went away. I never saw him again. Her voice was heavy with old regret. I have had a good life. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder what would have happened if I had been brave enough to choose love over sense. Do-hyun closed his eyes. You cannot beat her with strength, Misuk continued. But maybe you do not need to. Maybe you just need to show her something she has never seen before. Like what? I do not know. But you have until morning to figure it out. And Do-hyun? Yes? Whatever happens, I am proud of you. For coming this far. For being brave enough to try. The connection went silent. Do-hyun sat alone in the darkness, thinking about love and courage and the strange, impossible things that humans do for each other. Outside, the stars wheeled slowly through the eternal night, and morning crept closer with every passing second. The arena of Nexus Station had never been so full. Every seat was taken. Every balcony was crowded. Beings of every species in the galaxy had come to witness what everyone was calling the final challenge. Billions more watched through screens and neural links from 1,000 different worlds. In one corner of the arena stood Princess Yumbi. She wore her ceremonial battle armor, passed down through 50 generations of Valari royalty. It gleamed like liquid silver under the arena lights. In her hand, she held her famous blade, the one that had cut through monsters and champions alike. In the other corner stood Do-hyun. He wore borrowed combat gear that was 2 sizes too big. The pants were too long and he had to roll up the sleeves. In his hand, he held a standard-issue plasma blade. He had practiced with it for about 16 hours. He had cut himself twice. The crowd murmured. Many of them laughed. This was not a battle. This was going to be an execution. In the viewing box above the arena, Yuna gripped the railing with white knuckles. Beside her, Misuk sat calmly, her old eyes fixed on the arena floor. He is going to die, Yuna whispered. This is madness. Mystic shook her head slowly. Watch. Just watch. A horn sounded. The battle began. Yumbi moved first. She was a blur of silver and violet, crossing the arena in the blink of an eye. Her blade sang through the air, tracing patterns too fast for human eyes to follow. Doyun stumbled backward. He raised his weapon to block, but he was far too slow. The princess's blade knocked his weapon aside and sliced across his arm. Blood sprayed across the arena floor. The crowd cheered. Doyun fell. He tried to get up, but Yumbi was already on him. Her blade touched his throat. One small movement would end his life. Yield, she commanded. Her voice echoed through the silent arena. This is pointless. You cannot win. Submit now, and I will spare your life. Don coughed. Blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. His arm burned with pain. Every part of his body screamed at him to give up, to be sensible, to survive. He looked up at the viewing box. He found Yuna's eyes. Then he looked back at the princess. No, he said. Yumbi blinked. No? I will not yield. You are dying. Your weapon is gone. You have no chance of victory. Why continue this foolishness? Dohyun slowly, painfully, pushed himself to his feet. The princess stepped back, watching him with confusion. He swayed, barely able to stand, but he stood. Because this is not about winning, he said. His voice was weak but steady. This was never about winning. You do not understand that yet. Maybe you never will. Explain. I am not here to defeat you. I could never defeat you. The strongest warriors in the galaxy tried and failed. I am nobody. A cargo pilot. I have no special training. No hidden powers. I am exactly what I appear to be. A weak, ordinary human. The princess lowered her blade slightly. Then why are you here? Because Yuna is here. That is the only reason I need. Dohyun took a shaky breath and continued. You asked me yesterday why I came. Why I crossed the galaxy for a woman who might not even love me back. The truth is, I do not know if she loves me. We never made any promises. We shared one kiss 7 years ago. That is all. He looked up at the viewing box again. Yuna was crying. She was beautiful. But I love her, Dohyun said. I have loved her since we were children. I love her on days when she is kind and days when she is angry. I love her when she succeeds and when she fails. I love her not because she is perfect, but because she is Yuna. That is enough. That is everything. The arena was completely silent now. Not a single being moved. You wanted to prove yourself worthy of her through strength, Dohyun continued. You thought that if you defeated enough champions, killed enough monsters, conquered enough enemies, she would have to love you. But love does not work that way. You cannot force it. You cannot earn it through combat. You cannot demand it as a prize. He straightened his back despite the pain. Love is a gift, he said. The most precious gift anyone can give. And gifts are not won or taken. They are given freely, or not at all. Princess Yumbi stared at him. Her 4 eyes were unreadable. I came here knowing I would lose, Dohyun said. I came here knowing you would probably kill me. But I came anyway. Not because I thought I could beat you. Because giving up is not how humans love. We do not love because it makes sense. We do not love because we will win. We love because love is the only thing that makes life worth living. He spread his arms, completely defenseless. So kill me if you want. I cannot stop you. But before you do, understand this. I crossed the galaxy, broke into your ship, and stood in this arena facing certain death. Not for glory, not for power, just for the chance to tell one woman that I love her. He paused. That is what human love looks like. It is not strong. It is not sensible. It is stupid and impossible, and it breaks every rule. But it is the most powerful force in the universe, because it does not give up, ever, no matter the odds. Silence filled the arena. Princess Yumbi stood motionless, her blade still in her hand. Something was changing in her eyes. The hardness was fading. Something else was taking its place. She remembered Yuna's words from the night before. Love is made of small things. Learn to give without expecting anything in return. Learn to be soft. She looked at this broken, bleeding human who had given everything for love, who expected nothing in return, who had nothing to offer except his heart. And finally, she understood. She sheathed her blade. "I withdraw my challenge," she announced. Her voice was quiet, but it carried to every corner of the arena. The human has won. The crowd erupted in confusion. Some cheered. Some gasped. Some demanded blood. But Yumbi ignored them all. She walked up to Doyen, who was barely staying on his feet. "I have defeated 47 of the galaxy's greatest warriors," she said. "None of them taught me anything. But you, cargo pilot, you have taught me more in 5 minutes than I learned in 500 years. She reached out and steadied him before he could fall. "You have won," she repeated. "Not through strength, not through skill, through something I do not have a name for. Something uniquely, irritatingly human." She almost smiled. "Take care of her. If you do not, I will find you. And next time, I will not be so merciful." Dohyun managed a weak grin. "Fair enough." Medical robots rushed onto the arena floor to treat his wounds. But before they could reach him, someone else got there first. Yuna. She had jumped from the viewing box. Ignoring the guards, ignoring the protocols, ignoring everything except the man standing bloody and broken on the arena floor. She crashed into him, wrapping her arms around him, holding him tight. "You idiot," she whispered. "You magnificent idiot. Is that a yes?" Dohyun asked weakly. "Yes, you fool. It is a yes. It has always been a yes. I have been waiting 7 years for you to ask." She kissed him. The arena went wild. Later, when the crowds had gone and the galaxy had started processing what it had witnessed, Princess Yumbi stood alone in her chambers. She was watching a recording of the moment Yuna and Dohyun embraced. She watched it again and again, studying their faces, trying to understand the expression she saw there. Joy, relief, love, small things, she thought. Love is made of small things. She turned off the recording and walked to her window. The stars stretched out before her, infinite and cold. For the first time in her long life, she felt something she had never felt before. Not anger, not pride, not the hunger for conquest, loneliness. She had always thought strength was enough. She had always believed the power could get her anything she wanted. But watching 2 ordinary humans love each other had shown her how wrong she was. She picked up her communication device and began composing a message to the Terran diplomatic corps. If she could not have Yuna as a consort, perhaps she could have humanity as an ally. And perhaps, in time, she could learn to understand this strange, stubborn species. Perhaps she could even learn to love the way they loved, softly, without expecting anything in return. Far below, in the medical bay of Nexus Station, Dohyun held Yuna's hand as doctors patched his wounds. "That was the dumbest thing you have ever done," Yuna said. "Probably. You could have died. Definitely. I should be furious with you. Are you?" She smiled and squeezed his hand. "I have been waiting 7 years for you to stop being an idiot. I can wait a little longer for you to stop being a reckless one." Dohyun laughed, then winced as the movement hurt his ribs. "I love you, Yuna. I should have said it before you left for the academy. I should have said it every day since." I'm sorry it took an alien princess conquering half the galaxy to get me here. Only you could turn an intergalactic incident into a love confession." She leaned in and kissed him gently. Outside the medical bay window, the galaxy continued to turn. Stars were born and died. Empires rose and fell. The great dance of existence continued as it always had. But somewhere in the middle of all that vastness, two humans held hands and smiled at each other. And that was enough. That was everything. Because in the end, humanity's greatest weapon was never its technology or its tactics or its tenacity. It was the ability to love against all odds, and to never, ever give up on those they loved. The end.